Times may be dark, but we are Earth's greatest hope. Look around you. A gathering of noble guardians new and old.
Okay, listen up. You're a bunch of dirty misfits, but you're all that's left, so you'll have to do.
Our home was attacked. I was there and fought against...
All right. We are the Two Player Podcast. I'm Eric Kane.
I'm Paul Tassi.
We're back again to talk about Destiny 2, which just came out yesterday, although for some reason we were both able to play on Tuesday also. That was fun.
I don't really know what happened. I just woke up and I'm like, I'll try and log in. And sure enough, here's the character creator. And I'm like, okay, well, guess I'm not working today.
You know what's really funny is I got my dates all scrambled. So I thought it was coming out on Tuesday because most games come out on Tuesdays, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like usually they come out on a Tuesday. This is coming out on a Wednesday. It was weird. So I just got up and I was like planning on playing it all day. And then I saw like the email from you and Dave and I was like, wait, what? Of course it's live. Why wouldn't it be live? Just losing my mind, I guess. But yeah, then it worked and it was great. It was great to get a little bit
to make everyone jealous on Twitter for like 2 hours.
You know, posting all those screenshots.
I've been posting so many screenshots. Like,
yeah,
I love, this is another bonus about switching to PS4 is the share button because I can just instantly share screenshots.
Although,
it's more convoluted on Xbox.
On PS5, they need a better share button still.
I think it's
so
okay.
many problems with it.
I tried to share a video clip and I like closed the game because I forgot it has to.
That's what
kill
happened
the
to
whole
me.
Game, and I'm like, shoot.
I posted a video clip of my hunter going crazy with the ultimate, the staff, I want to say Blade Dancer, but it's not Blade Dancer.
Arc Strider.
Arc Strider.
Yep.
Arc Strider, yeah.
Definitely not Blade Dancer. Not similar at all.
No, not at all. But I had some piece of Legendary on, I think, and it just really extended the time that I could use the ultimate. I wish I still had that Legendary, or I wish it was a high enough stat to make it viable still. But
use it.
I haven't gotten to the infusion stuff yet.
Eventually, you'll start getting a bunch of Legendary stuff, which you can dismantle, and then you can use the shards to infuse stuff. So, like, I got one of my first. I'm assuming you're talking about one of your first exotics. Like, I got one for the Warlock that you can just flat out sit and hover in midair when you're aiming and just shoot everything.
Oh, nice.
And that was cool. But then I like dramatically outleveled it. But now I just brought it up to like power 260 or something because I was able to infuse it. So.
Yeah, I figured there was something like that since the last game had.
Definitely don't get rid of it.
No, I wouldn't get rid of it. I am keeping. Well, I hope I've kept everything that I really like. I keep all my exotics. There was a gun. It was a pulse rifle.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was an auto. No, I can't remember. But I think it was a pulse. It would reload. Well, it would steal. It would every time you'd hit guys, you'd get more ammo. I really liked that because I almost never had to reload. You know, it was really cool. Like you'd reload like 1/5 of the time compared to a regular gun, so that was great. But I out-leveled that, so I need to go and get to that infusion.
It's
stuff.
so much fun just finding new exotics for the first time, and like I've only seen a couple of these ahead of time, but it's just so cool to get something and not have any idea what it is or what it looks like or what it does because that doesn't happen in Destiny for me for a really long time. Yeah,
it is really great fun, and you get to do that quite a lot, even in the first 20 hours or so. It feels like you really are coming across quite a few cool weapons and pieces of gear. But that exotic let my ultimate go a lot longer than it normally would. So I just killed so many of these Vex, and I went and I did the video clip of it, and then it shut off the game, and I had to restart the.
They're pretty good about checkpoints, though, because when that happened to me, it started me like right pretty much where I was. So I think the game's gotten a lot better about checkpointing, which is another minor thing. But
the PlayStation, when the PS5 comes out, it needs to have seamless social sharing.
Yes.
Also, the other thing that the stupid PS4 does is I cannot link my YouTube account to the PS4 to save my life. I go in, I sign in, it works, it says it's linked. I go to share the video clip to YouTube, and it tells me to sign in. And so I go and I sign in. I do it all over again. One time I did it like 5 times in a row, and then I gave up. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Caught in a Cade 6 endless loop of
yeah, pretty much
sign in.
But yeah, so Destiny 2.
It's great. I like it
really
a lot. I mean, I kind of knew I would, but I mean, and after playing, well, the console beta was a little rough and it didn't kind of feel right, but they changed a lot of stuff to make you feel a lot more powerful now, and it feels kind of more like what you liked about Destiny the first time. So I really like it a lot for the most part.
Do you not feel like you're just even more of a badass in this game than in Destiny though? Like I feel like you just kill things faster.
You do. I think you kill everything faster, and I think they learned their lesson from overly spongy bosses. Like some of them are still a little spongy, but like nowhere near what they used to be in strikes and like kind of end of mission bosses. Like you use your heavy a couple times, use your special, and you can take a lot of bosses down. So what they tried to do is make some of the fights kind of more mechanically interesting. Like there's one mission later on, I think it's like a side mission where there's a Cabal Centurion and he's made immune by like one little Scion running around. So you hit the Scion, then you hit the guy, and then he respawns somewhere else. Then there's 2 Scions. By the end, there's like 9 Scions running all over the map you have to kill in order to be able to kill him first. And like stuff like that I think is really cool and stuff I haven't really seen before in Destiny. So I'm impressed with what they're doing there.
Yeah, and I think the same goes with things like level design, mission design. Just a lot of little things are a little more interesting than before. You know what I will say at the end of the campaign is you're like standing there with the other NPCs. This is not a big spoiler or anything, but everyone's having a conversation, but not you. And I know you've written about it. But it really feels like in this camp, it feels like you're like for some reason that's never. Why are you mute in this game? It makes no sense at all.
The only logistical reason I can think of is because they didn't want to record 6 layers of voice work for each of the genders for each of the races, which I think is what they had to do the first time. And I mean, their official reason is going to be like, you, the player, are the guardian, and if we gave you a voice, like you don't need a voice, you're the voice, and like I don't buy that at all. And you're right, like in a game that dramatically improves storytelling this much, compared to the original at least, it is just flat out bizarre in many of these cutscenes where people are like talking to you and then your ghost just answers for you, and like they even kind of look at you weird as you just kind of like sit there and shrug and blink. You're like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I
think the game loses something there.
They didn't even have to do much, They could have just had a few little lines. I mean, the ghost doesn't even talk all that much in those situations, and he could still do half the voice work. So they only really had to record, a fraction of the amount of lines.
50 lines in the course of the whole game, and like that would have gone a long way. So I don't understand that. I don't understand how the character creator has not changed one iota from what I can tell from the first game. And like I'm really big into like character creation, and like people get really attached to their guardians for the long haul. And it is amazing to me that they just essentially ported the exact same character creator 3 years later. Like that is stunning to me. And like a lot of people won't think that's a big deal, but that bothered me because like, everything else about the game is like dramatically improved, except for I don't know why they would just put like kind of negative amounts of effort into that. I
think that's sort of emblematic of maybe a slightly larger issue with it though, which is just, yes, everything is vastly improved. Gameplay is better, story is better, user interface is better, just all the quality of life stuff, everything about the experience is better. But there is sort of a sameness, I think, that permeates the whole thing. There, like not just the character creator, but the fact that you still only have the same 3 races. There's not a new race. There's not a new class. There's not a new alien species. There's new worlds, but they're kind of similar to the old world. There's just a lot of sameness.
It does feel like more of the same. It gets away with it because original Destiny was fun and was good, and there was a lot of really great stuff in that. So to have more of that is still kind of more great stuff, just with improvements. So, but yes, I do fundamentally wish it was like kind of it had made leaps and bounds ahead of where it left off. Whereas it's kind of it's definitely a couple steps forward, but it's not some huge leap into the future where there's 3 new, like a lot of games would debut and there'd be 3 new classes with 3 new subclasses each, and 2 new enemy races and 8 new worlds, and they just didn't have the time and resources for that. So this is kind of what we have, and like it's still good. It's just another case of Destiny. Like you always want more from Destiny. Like it's never it's never quite what you think it should be, or like how much you think it should be giving you. And like this is better, but I do feel that as well, like what you're saying.
Well, they always want more from you also. I mean, this is, a $60 game unless you bought the deluxe or whatever, and then it's more. And then you're going to be paying for DLC, which will add new content, but of course will cost a lot of money and will basically be essential. Like you can't just skip the DLC in Destiny. Like it changes so much of the game.
It's the whole game, yeah, essentially.
Yeah. And so, I mean, skipping the DLC almost blocks you out of the experience. And then they also have microtransactions. So, I mean, I don't think it's too much to ask from Bungie and Activision to deliver some of those things. Like, I understand, okay, at launch, we have the same 3 classes. We've got, but at some point, I think we need some new enemies. We can't just have another Taken type thing either.
I'm not going to say anything specific, but I feel like we may be getting new enemies in the future based on my experience with the game so far.
I think you're right about that.
I won't say anything else, but I do feel like that may be coming. It is weird that it is not in this game, I think. But
I agree.
I was like kind of cracking up when the Taken came back. I'm like, oh, I thought we were done with the Taken.
Oh, I hate the Taken.
But some of their plot lines are actually kind of interesting. Like I just did a bunch of side quests where like the Taken are like stealing Vex, and I don't know, there's some interesting stuff they do with it, but they're still really annoying to fight. They're like the flood of Destiny.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and of course there has to be, right?
Yeah.
There has to be a flood of Destiny. It is Bungie. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm honestly not surprised that stuff wasn't in the game. I'm a little irritated by it, but you're right. It gets away with it because it is really just an excellent game. Having a map is so great. It makes the whole experience of going on patrols, and now they have adventures and everything.
It's unbelievable how we had 3 years with no map. Man,
I can't believe it. Yeah,
and I wish the map was a little easier to access on PS4. I wish it was just kind of a quick tap instead of holding down the center pad. But
yeah, that always
it's still pretty good. And yeah, that really changes the whole experience on kind of like every level. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. You haven't played any PvP yet. I'll just speak quickly on that. I think it's really works well. I was a little hesitant about 4 versus 4, but I think it really does work pretty well. There have been a couple maps that seem kind of big for 4v4, but you'll have to just play that and let me know what you think.
Yeah.
But I definitely felt a little more comfortable with the whole PvP experience. And I don't know. We'll see if that keeps up. I find like I do really well and then I do really badly. But at least I do really well some.
I feel like Destiny PvP is going to have to do a lot to really make me want to play it in earnest, like other than beating a couple quests here and there. It's never really been kind of a hook for me, but maybe that'll change. I'll give it more of a shot this time around, but we'll see.
Yeah, I had one terrible. There's the new mode that's kind of like Counter-Strike where you set the bomb and or you defuse the bomb. Did you play that at all?
I played in
the beta. I kind of like that mode. I think maybe just because it reminds me of Counter-Strike, and I always loved Counter-Strike. It makes me wish there was a rescue the hostages mode in Destiny. I don't know how that would work, but I guess you could rescue the Vex from the Taken or something.
I just played. Okay, that reminds me. I just played the saddest side mission where, without story details, it's essentially like the Vex have, I think the Vex have imprisoned like some Fallen. And you go and you kind of unlock, like, you kill these Minotaur guards, which unlocks the Fallen cages, and the ghost is like, I don't know if they're going to be too appreciative. And then the Fallen try and kill you, so you have to kill all the Fallen. So you're essentially, like, unlocking all these cells and then murdering all the prisoners. And I'm like, oh, this is really sad.
Yeah, that does kind of suck.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Okay, we should talk about that kind of stuff. All right, so I had some cognitive dissonance with this story of Gaul. Because he's like, you're not worthy to be guardians and have the light and stuff. Mm-hmm. But then you go and like kill all his people single-handedly with ease.
Yeah.
Like, well, it sort of feels like, okay, wait, so you're this super powerful, you destroyed the city, but then one Guardian goes and takes down everything. That felt a little weird to me. I don't know. I kind of was hoping that the story would, well, I don't want to give away too many details, but I was kind of hoping it would go a different direction.
There are a lot of things with this whole kind of losing the light plotline that feel weird to me. Like there's a section at the beginning where you still don't have your light back and Ghost is like, I can't revive you. And like, I'm like, that we've literally played like 5,000 other sections in which Ghost cannot revive us and we have to restart. And then you have your light and then you're like the chosen one Guardian who got their light back and nobody asks you like how you got your light back.
I kept thinking that when like Zavala and then we're all talking, they're like, it's his last life. And I'm like, hey, if I could talk, I'd tell you where to go get it, you know?
By the way, there's this giant mystic forest that gives you your light back, which you would think.
It's super easy to do.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't really get that. I've always, the whole concept of Guardians like literally being immortal and like able to be revived over and over because of their ghosts, like that, I feel like that started as a way to explain a very common gameplay mechanic, but then kind of took over the story to the point where it's like ridiculous when you really stop and think about it. And I think you get some of that weirdness here. And like the story still works and I think it's fine. And I like the concept of Gull trying to get the light and whatever. But there are problems with that whole kind of concept that if you really try and poke holes in it, it is not that hard.
Yeah. I mean, when we say that we really enjoyed the story, it's more like it was a fun, kind of mindless story. Cade 6 is funny. There's some cool cutscenes with like the rebellion and then the levels are really, there's some cool things they do with the levels, like the sun, that one level where the sun's really hot and you can get killed just standing and you have to go in the shadow and there's a level where you're on the rooftops and kind of fighting as you jump from rooftop to rooftop. That's pretty cool. Just lots of more variety, and I feel like it's less of a slog. Like things, just the pace is better. You move from one thing to the next a lot quicker. Bad guys aren't as bullet spongy as the first game, and there's some cool sequences where you have tanks. Although I thought it was kind of funny in the tanks, like as soon as your tank's damaged, you can just like generate a new one.
Yeah.
Well, you could just like send a bunch of guys in and have them each in a tank, and you could just totally take out the bad guys really easily because you have like infinite supply of tanks. I've never played a game where you could summon tanks so easily. Although I mean, it was
I liked
fine,
a lot of those vehicle sections. I didn't think I would.
Yeah, they were fun.
I definitely
it reminded me of Halo.
Yeah. I thought that was a really good mechanic in a lot of the missions, and you do more missions even after the main story campaign where you're using a lot of vehicles and it works. And we still don't have anything as good as the Warthog, which really bums me out. But I was glad to see kind of more vehicle segments because that is kind of a signature part of the Halo games and something that Destiny has mostly been lacking. So,
and there's no vehicle for multiple people, is there? Is there?
No, I don't think so.
Which is so weird, like because this game is built around co-op, it seems like it would make a lot of sense to have something where you could have someone driving, someone in the gun seat,
I mean, even with the improvements, it's clear that Bungie still doesn't really want to focus on vehicles that much here.
Yeah,
and I mean, I guess it's fine and it still works, but that was one of their strong suits, so it is kind of strange that has not been brought into Destiny in any real capacity.
Yeah. Well, I think, we've had the game at our fingertips for a couple days now. We'll have lots more to say about this as we get further into it.
4, 5, 6 Destiny podcasts over time, probably.
Yeah. I mean, especially once the raid's live and we can try playing without with matchmaking, I guess I should say.
Quasi matchmaking.
Quasi match. Yeah, the sort of experienced players take the solo players under their wing type deal. We'll see how that works.
Yeah.
And I still haven't, other than the beta, I haven't gotten into any strikes yet, so I need to go do that today. But lots more to talk about. But I think that's good for now. So, thanks for listening. We're the Two Player Podcast, and we're trying to do this every week. I will be gone for a couple weeks, so we may take a little hiatus in late September, early October. But peace.
know your path. You don't need our guidance anymore. If my journey ends today, then I face it gladly.
To go forward, we must go upward. Which sounds like something Zavala would say.
Hey, Hawthorne says we're reaching our insertion point, and I'm not big on goodbye scenes. So, you do what you gotta do. Make it out alive, okay? I need someone who gets my jokes.
See those tubes? That's how we get to the weapon core.